We Have Concerns is only made possible because of generous donations from our patrons. If you want to be one of those, if you want to help make the show possible and also get extra stuff like bonus episodes, monthly hangouts, other cool stuff, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
Nothing is magic yet.
Why not?
Because that's not the way the world works. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
I want to give you Chronicle of a Badass. I think it should be a new recurring...
that's that Patrick Rothfuss series.
I think you're thinking of Tales of the Wind. What is it? Wind...
The King Killer.
King Killer Chronicles.
The King Killer Chronicles.
Very good books, by the way. When's that third one coming out? Anyway, Chronicles of a Badass. We talk about Australia wanting to kill you. We talk about octopi. I think Chronicles of a Badass is a new thing I want to start because this is an awesome story. This is truly...
Are these badasses that want to kill us? You're talking about things that want to kill us.
No, people that are... Well, no, this is a person who's awesome. A guy who's...
killing.
Not killing. This is a story sent to us by Alexis Ayala. She sent it to wehaveconcerns@gmail.com. This didn't happen recently, but it is worth talking about because this guy is a badass. He's a French electrician. His name is Emile Leray. And he, in the 70s, was traipsing through Africa, having a good old time in Africa. And he bought a car.
Spring break Africa.
You know how it is. He was 43 years old. He bought this car. It was called a Citroën.
Citroën. Yeah.
Citroën. You've heard of this.
Yeah. They're huge. They're huge in France.
In Africa, they call the Citroën the steel camel because it's like it can go anywhere. It's very capable of traipsing through Africa.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is like in the desert of Africa. He'd been traveling around Africa 10 times. He knew the region.
Was he traveling in Africa?
It was Africa.
And he was traveling in it.
Yeah. And he'd been traveling in Africa.
I just want to make sure that we're clear.
In his Citroën. And he thought he knew because he'd been to Africa before.
Traveling.
Crashed a Citroën. Crashed it into a rock. Citroën.
I thought it was in Africa.
It was a rock in Africa.
Oh, okay.
Not Iraq. I see what you may have thought.
You got to specify that the dude's in Africa. Okay, we're in Africa.
Yeah. He crashes. He's stuck.
Sure.
He's stuck in the middle of where, Anthony?
Iraq.
Yes. 20 miles from the nearest town. Now, 20 miles to me, I mean, I'm a guy who has run a marathon 7 times. 20 miles is like 3 hours of running. Well, that's not true. 4 hours of running.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, 20 miles. I've never run a marathon in Africa.
Jesus, fuck you, man.
I know that's a dick thing to say, but I'm just saying it didn't. 20
Why
miles,
did this guy just run 4 hours to the nearest
20
town?
miles didn't seem like that far to me, but this guy was like, fuck it, I can't, I'm going to die here. He had food and water in the Citroën, in the trunk. His plan was, because he's an electrical engineer, he took apart the Citroën and rebuilt it as a motorcycle. He completely disassembled his Citroën and created a mock-up, ad hoc motorcycle that he then rode out of the desert into the town. It took him 12 days of creating something from something else. He built a motorcycle from scratch from a car.
Wait, he had food and water.
He had food and water for 12 days.
He had food and water, and he was
20 miles from
20 miles from the city.
Yeah.
And he took 12 days to turn the car into a motorcycle rather than like walking?
Yes. Which, now again, I may have presented it in a dickish way, but 12 miles doesn't seem like that long. I guess in the African sun, it'll be rougher.
Sure.
And I guess he didn't want to carry enough water to make it that far. But I feel like...
But he had 12 days worth of water.
He was 12 days worth of water.
Like he clearly had at least 12 days worth of food and water.
And by the way, if you've now spent 12 days trying to build your motorcycle and it doesn't turn out to be a motorcycle, now you're going to try to walk 20 miles or you just give up and die at that point? Or was he so fucking confident that he would make the motorcycle work?
I feel like with 12 days, he spent a few days like just problem solving and like taking apart and like clear 12 days from start to finish. Well, did he have tools?
Yeah, he had some too. He had a hacksaw and some other tools in the trunk of the Citroen.
This is like my tale of heroism that like with just my wallet and my shoes and my sunglasses, I went all the way around the block and ordered a coffee. Can you believe it? A harrowing tale of survival. Using only the food in my own refrigerator, I made a dinner.
Okay.
Now the turning a car into a motorcycle
it's fucking badass.
Is cool. However, I don't know that he used the best problem-solving skills for this one.
I kind of agree, but I kind of also think that makes him a more of a badass. Like, he did the hardest possible thing to do in that situation and pulled it off.
Because I was like, here were the thoughts that were going through my head. Are you ready?
Yes.
Oh, he's building this motorcycle. It took him 12 days. And I'm like, oh, well, he probably doesn't want to walk because who knows, like, about wildlife, about safety on the road, about this, about that. And then I remembered he spent 12 fucking days on this road. So all of my concerns about the environment and the danger and the hazards are null because he spent longer in those hazards than he would have walking. Did he not know how far away he was from the nearest town?
That's unclear. He says now that the nearest village was 20 miles away, but it said the nearest village was 20 miles away and Larray didn't want to risk making the trek on foot. He had several days worth of water and a hacksaw on him. It said it took longer than he thought. He ended with less than half a liter of water left. So he's like, this is it. I'm all in. I'm pot committed on this motorcycle plan. And he fucking did it.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have.
He used the body of the car as shelter during sandstorms. He shortened the car's chassis and reattached the axles and two of the wheels and installed the engine and gearbox in the middle. He even used the bumper as a seat. He didn't use the seat as a seat, which seems odd.
Look, man, all of this stuff, all of that stuff, if you pull the car to motorcycle stuff out of the context of the rest of this story. Yeah, that's smart building.
If you say man turns car into motorcycle in 12 days using only hacksaw,
that's
dope. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm into that. Man turns car into motorcycle in 12 days using only a hacksaw to get to a town he could walk to in 3 days. Now we are getting into, hey man, walk the 3 days, call a tow truck.
But you know what? I'm going to argue that this makes him more of a badass.
No.
Yes, because he decided to do a much more difficult thing.
But I don't think
he knew.
Cool. But he didn't know. He said himself that it took him longer than he thought.
Oh yeah, way longer. He thought it was going to take just a couple of days to do it. It took him 12. But Grant, 10 days of that was just like, should it be a motorcycle?
This guy is such an engineer, by the way. Yeah, this guy is such an engineer. This guy is immediately like, what is the most complicated answer to this problem?
Yeah. That's what's so badass about him.
I don't know.
He's still alive today. He's in his 60s
Jeff,
or 70s.
did I ever tell you? He's still alive.
Yeah, because he survived that day.
He's survived. He's still alive.
And he still has the motorcycle in his front yard.
Every day he still survives.
That's
and he's still a hero.
He is. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to tell you about the time that I was trapped in my home watching You're the Worst, season 3. And using only my phone.
Oh.
I ordered Grubhub.
What?
And Thai food was delivered, and I survived.
You survived?
I did.
Did you have to leave the prone position on your couch?
I did.
Oh my God. You're a hero.
Thank you.
You're a true
man turns phone call into Thai food and survives.
I think you're minimizing how badass this guy is. It's a chronicle of badass. He pulls into town. He rides into town with his makeshift, awesome looking, fucking rad MacGyver motorcycle.
Yeah.
And they promptly arrest him or cite him, I should say, for driving a unlicensed vehicle.
Yeah.
So he pulls up. He's like, I did it, everybody. Half a liter of water on me. And everybody's like, sir, can you?
That's not street legal. Can I see your emissions test on that?
It's back in the half Citroen that I left over. I'm sorry, like 20 miles that way.
So you don't have that on you. Do you have any? Where's the license plate for this?
Well,
do you have registration?
It's again.
This is a car registration. This is a motorcycle. Then you're carrying a car registration.
Okay, funny story.
Mhm.
I thought I was going to die. So what I did was...
Okay, sir, like, that's all well and good, but you have no documentation for this vehicle at all.
Have you ever seen any of the Saw movies?
Where are you coming from?
I come 20 miles that way. I told you just a second ago. See that direction where
Yeah.
nothing is? Walk 20 miles that way. And
you thought you were going to die.
Yes, but
Were
I
you
drove
being
it.
chased, sir?
No, I crashed. And I was going to die. I had to hide from sandstorms in the chassis of my car. And I thought if I started walking,
Last sandstorm was like 9 days ago.
Yeah, I know.
You were only 20 miles away.
I just drove 20 minutes to get here on this motorcycle.
I can see that speck in the distance. Is that your car?
It's half a car now. The other half is this motorcycle.
Why don't you just walk it, man?
Because I thought I was going to die. I drove it in 20 minutes on this motorcycle. Look how awesome this motorcycle is.
Sir, you just drove in on Gingerbread Lane.
Yeah,
this is the nicest, cutest street.
It is adorable.
It goes like you clearly came from the far end of Gingerbread Lane.
No, I know. I love the tasteful shrubbery. Is
this guy is like when I would run away to the backyard. As a kid, I'd be like, I'm going to go survive in the wilderness.
Yeah, but then did you turn something into something else?
I'm going to go into the woods. Yeah, I turned porn into masturbation. I turned porn into jizz is what I did.
You're a real magician.
I turned stolen alcohol into being drunk is what I did. This is like seriously a kid grabbing his bag and a flashlight and going, I'm off to explore the woods. And the woods is like the 8 trees behind your house. Or it's the vacant lot next to like the convenience store.
Maybe I wasn't clear. He was in Africa. Did I not make that clear at the beginning of the show?
This is like the whitest thing you've ever said.
He's in Africa, in the deserts of Africa.
He's in Africa. Do you know what it's like over there? He had a French-made car.
They're calling this dude the Tony Stark of the 70s.
No, Tony Stark was the Tony Stark of the 70s.
Well, until movies. But he turned to him.
Tony Stark.
Every time you say Tony Stark, an angel gets its wings.
Yeah, that's what happened. Robert Downey Jr. was like, hey, man. Tony Stark turned a bunch of scrap metal into a nuclear-powered heart.
Right. And
this guy turned a vehicle into a vehicle.
To a smaller vehicle.
This guy got rid of some of the parts of the vehicle and it still worked as a vehicle.
It's cool. He reconstituted it in a very intense way. It is a completely different vehicle.
This is like Tony Stark turning the shrapnel around his heart into slightly less shrapnel around his heart.
Maybe you should have started there.
That's
honestly, really where you should have started.
Honestly, if you can turn your heart into a nuclear reactor, but you can't remove the shrapnel from it.
Yeah.
I wonder if Tony Stark wasn't the fucking this guy of the 70s.
This guy of the 70s.
He just seems like he over-engineered that solution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tony, like, I understand, but like now that you're out of the cave, why don't we just like get a scalpel up in there?
But I built this nuclear reactor.
I built a nuclear reactor in my heart. I don't know.
Do you think that this guy, as he was driving, was constantly thinking, like, this could be a motorcycle? I bet I could turn this car into I just need an excuse.
I think he was looking for a reason. Yeah. I think he was looking for a reason. This sounds like a guy who is genuinely like, hey, my car broke down right now in the middle of nowhere. If I crash this thing, could I survive? I bet I could survive. How would I survive? And like, he just thought it all out.
Maybe now Jennifer will answer my calls.
Do you think he crashed on purpose? Do you think he even crashed?
Well, they say that he had, he'd been there many, many times before, and he went hauling ass away from some people that knew him. So maybe he was just trying to show off. They said the last time
I've done that before.
Yeah,
I've done that before, where you try to show off, you try to make a good exit, and you run into something.
It says
that's believable.
He was told the area was restricted and he couldn't go through. Ignoring the request, he instead drove off at top speed into the rocky terrain of the restricted area, making sure that officials weren't following him, and then he crashed.
What a dickbag, this guy.
This guy's awesome! I love this guy. He's like, fuck you, crash. Okay, motorcycle time. Fuck you again.
Don't go that way. It's restricted, but also it's like, it's a harder way to go, and it's easier and faster just to go this way. Like, you shouldn't go that way, but like, Also, this way is the smart way? Yeah, fuck you guys. Okay. And remember, if you get stuck, the smartest thing to do is just to walk back.
Fuck you guys.
Fuck you guys.
I'm making a helicopter submarine out of this car.
Yeah, this guy, I don't know. You want to paint this guy as a badass? I don't know.
It's Chronicles of a Badass.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think if I knew that, so this guy was with people he was familiar with in an area he was familiar with.
Yeah.
So he knew how far away this village was. That's what you're saying. Is he knew exactly where he was.
You're saying that
he knew exactly how much trouble he was in. And motherfucker was like, honestly, I would not be surprised to find out this guy was a little buzzed. And he was just like, I wonder if I could just fucking turn this thing into a motorcycle. How hilarious would it be if I just turned this thing into a motorcycle?
I bet you guys,
I'm not leaving.
$10.
These guys, they told me not to ride this way. Fuck them. Not only did I make it, I made it and I turned a car into a motorcycle. Jennifer.
Yeah, maybe Jennifer now will take my calls.
Jennifer.
Listen, Emil, I've told you, you're just not cool enough for me to date you. Maybe if you, I don't know, ditched that lame car and got like a sweet ride, maybe then we could see each other.
But I spent all my money on a Citroen. A Citroen is a respectable French car.
Yeah, well, maybe it is respectable, but
they call it the iron crab or whatever of the fucking the camel.
I'm looking for
camel snake of the fucking desert.
I want someone with a backbone. Someone who doesn't overthink everything, overthink our relationship. I want a free thinker, a wild spirit.
That's
I want
me.
A guy who can.
That's me, Emil.
Who can yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, yippee-yi, yo.
You're such
That's me. I'm Emil.
You're such a nerd, Emil.
No, I'll show.
I want
I'll show
someone
her.
cool.
I'll show everyone. I'm gonna be the coolest guy, and I'm not gonna overthink it. But here's how I'm gonna show him. I think that's what happened.
I still think this guy's the coolest. I want to be like him.
Here's how I want to be like him. I want to be like him in the sense that if a car fell apart, I'd like to know that I could rebuild it.
Oh, I can't.
Period.
Yeah.
Not into a motorcycle, not into anything. I just like to know if a car broke down, I knew how to fix a car. That seems like a pretty attainable goal. Every other way that I could be like this guy, nah.
I bet if this had happened just like 10 years later, he would have built the car into a robot.
I don't think so.
Because the 70s, it's all about that, motorcycle culture. 80s, now we're into robots.
Yeah. Well, dirt bikes. Dirt bikes were big.
Yeah.
Vans. Maybe he just turned the car into a slightly larger car. Maybe the car would break down and he just would have painted a sweet wizard on it.
Just entice people into it. Everything I've said is completely wrong. I'm sorry. It happened in 1993, not in the 70s.
Oh, this fucking guy. Are you kidding me?
I don't know where I got that from. It was 1993.
1993.
Yeah. Sorry. So he was like, maybe Jennifer will let me come over and watch Friends with her now.
1993?
Yeah.
I feel like there was somebody with a long-range walkie-talkie or something. I don't know, man.
Like the cusp of internet?
In the 70s, it's kind of like, oh, this is just a dumb 70s mustache sort of cool thing.
I don't know where I got that in my head. I guess because the picture...
Because it's lame.
Because the picture looks like he's in the 70s.
Unless you put it in the context of the 70s, it's not cool. That's a cool 70s story. In the 90s, that's not cool.
Yeah, you're right.
1993, my dad had a giant car phone. You know what I mean? In 1993, there's
really
a way for this guy.
You're slagging on this guy. You're really slagging on the Tony Stark of the 1993s.
He's not the Tony Stark of 1993. That much we do know.
Is he the MacGyver of 1993?
No, MacGyver was the MacGyver of 1993.
Oh, yeah, right. That's a good point.
And MacGyver would have done something cooler. Also, MacGyver, in that situation, would have, used some weather shit and, a needle compass and would have just been like, we're just going to walk.
That's true.
We're going to walk.
Weather shit and needle compass.
Yeah.
Would have gotten him out of that situation. He would have survived, but...
I could have survived this situation, Jeff, and I can't survive anything.
I would have run out of there in 4 hours.
You know what I would have done? Honestly, you know what I would have done?
What?
Because it sounds like he'd made a good start, hit a rock pretty quickly. It sounds like it would have been much, much faster to turn around and go back to where you came from.
Then you got to apologize.
Where all those people are and be like, hey guys, you were right about not taking that restricted path.
The egg's on my face.
Because maybe you're only a couple miles out from that. But this dude just didn't want to face that he was wrong. This dude spent 12 days in
Yeah.
in fucking the middle of nowhere, Africa.
To prove that he's cooler than everybody that he left.
Yeah, he's just like, I'll build I don't need their help. I don't need to go tell them that I got stuck. I'm just going to turn this thing into another working thing.
Start a
Show
biker
them.
gang. That's
Yeah,
what I'll
so
do.
what? I'm 12 days late for work. Fuck you. I don't want to talk about it. No, I don't regret taking that way you told me not to take, Jennifer. This guy's not cool. There, I said it. This guy's not cool.
I know, but he made a motorcycle out of a car.
That's the cool part.
That is the cool part.
Good
That's
for him.
A very cool part.
Good for him. I don't like the situation in which he made it, and I don't like his inability to say that he's wrong. Which is to be fair, a trait that I have ascribed to him, but it feels correct.
Uh-huh.
It feels correct. Just like to him, it felt correct to spend an extra 2 weeks in the fucking desert or the wherever. The brush, the rocks,
The rocks.
Where the fuck was this?
It was
Africa's
in Africa.
an entire continent, man. Like,
Doesn't say where in Africa.
it could have any number of topographies.
He was in Joburg.
He was in the fucking capital of South Africa, the country. He was there for a rave.
He was there in
He was there to see a
1993.
DJ. He was there to see Paul Oakenfold in Joburg. And he just got stuck out in the desert and he was like, fuck those guys. He was a little drunk and he was angry. That's what this sounds like.
I don't know.
But good on him.
Still my hero.
Sure. So
You can't take that away from me, Anthony.
No, I can't. But I can suggest, like, reach a little higher for heroes. I'd like to see it just, reach a little higher.
Than the Tony Stark of 1993?
Have some higher aspirations. That's what I want for you.
All right.
What do you guys think about this guy?
Do you guys think this guy is a chronicle of a badass?
This is not a great.
Or is Anthony poisoned
This is not a
this
great
recurring
this
segment?
is not a great start to your recurring segment, is what I'm going to say. You can let us know on Twitter. I'm at @Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And hey, y'all, why not, if you haven't yet, head to the subreddit.
Ooh, that's a place where like-minded concerned citizens hang out, submit stories, talk about episodes, and generally just shoot the hay.
Yeah, there's a lot of making fun of me on there.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
There's a lot of like, haha, Anthony's weird. It's true. And if you
There's
think
also-
if you think it's true, there are a lot of like-minded people out there.
There's also a lot of really great corrections to the things we say wrong.
Yeah.
Like all of the biology stuff that we get horribly
so wrong.
Yeah.
If you want to see people put us in our place.
It's really useful, actually. You should swing by there just so you know how far we've misled you.
Yeah, learn it our way and then go learn it the right way. We have concerns.reddit.com.